Okay, so I've got to do a few little things now. I got to clean up what I've got. What have I got to clean up? So let's see. I've got these elbow controls. Make sure they're named well. Okay, left elbow control, right elbow control. Great. Those are going to be parented to my shoulder control. And I'll do the same thing with my hand controllers here. Parent them to my shoulder control. Then what have I got? I got some geometry here. My geometry. We'll worry about that in a second. Body, tongue, upper. Should make sure there's no... Well, actually, these are bound, so I can't get rid of any history on these. Although, let's just take a look at something. Actually, no, let's finish this. There is a couple of things... I actually did this video already once, and then I realized my microphone wasn't working, so I had to do it over again. I made a little God controller down here. You could use a NURB circle. I just used the Create EP Curve tool, and I just went and nailed this to the grid, and there I made something that looks like this, and I call it God control, and make sure I freeze the transformations on that thing. And I want to make sure that my upper body control is parented to it. P. Okay, and I want to make sure that my feet controls are also parented to my God control. P. Great. So those things are locked into place. And if I rotate that around, okay, that seems to be good. The eyes, we got to worry about that in a bit. Some other things I've got here. I've got, what is it? There's my groups for my feet, and my, I got groups for my IK handles and stuff like that. I'm just going to go ahead and edit group. I'll group those as well. I'll call this group Do Not Touch _ GURP. Do not touch group. Okay? If you're going to pass this off to another animator, this would be a pain in the ass if they got a hold of these things and screwed up your whole rig. So this is something that I'd have here. Do not touch group. And I'll even go here and I'll hide that. I'll right click and hide it, so they can't get it. The God control, I typically like to put another group on this. I'm just going to group the group. Or actually I'm going to group the control, the God control, and I'll call this control _ GURP. Okay. And then I start getting to my geometry. Okay, so what have I got here for my geometry? I've got... Actually, one thing I do notice is I've got this geometry here, and notice that it's all faceted, so I have to go in here to modeling, mesh display, and soften my edges. Okay, and then I get this other little piece of construction history in here. If you go edit, delete by type, non-deformer history, you can get rid of it. Okay, it's a good thing to do, and I might have to do that on these things too if I go into mesh display, soften edge, and what is it? There's some kind of funny thing going on here that's kind of scaring me. Edit, delete by type, non-deformer history. I can do the same thing to the hair. Okay, mesh display, soften edges, and then select it, edit, delete by type, non-deformer history. Great. And the eyes look like they're okay already. So, grab my teeth, my tongue, my body, and what else? I got hair, eyes, and I think that's it. I don't have any clothes on this character. I should have clothes on my character, but whatever, I don't have them on. I'm just going to take these and I'm going to group them, and I'll call this Geo _ GURP. Okay, and that's pretty organized. Do I have anything else in here? I got some other stuff. There's a scalp in here I have for the hair in case I want to go that direction, but this other stuff here, not too worried about it. I just want to make sure everything's kind of organized, and I might even go File, Optimize Scene Size. Okay, see if that helps get rid of anything. Okay, I should organize my layers, but it looks like that's pretty well organized. And what else do I want to do? If I go in and I rotate this around, okay, you can see we got some problems. The hair. Okay, it's a piece of geometry. So I'm just going to go and parent it to this one joint. Or not parent it, sorry. I am going to go in and bind it. Skin, bind skin, and selected joints. So I got one joint selected, boom. Now whenever I grab the head control, rotate around, the hair comes with it. Okay, The eyes. I think, should I do it in this video? Sure. What have I got? The eyes. The eyes are in these groups here. Okay, and I got a group that's centered more or less. Actually, it shouldn't be more or less. I should double check and make sure that this little group, I have like an outer eye and an inner eye in this case here. Let's just take a look here. If I go in and I look at this geometry, if I hold down D and V, I can move it so it's lined up with this middle line here. So that's the center. If I looked at it from the side view, I'd probably find that's right in the center. I want to see if there's anything. It doesn't look like it's gone squirrely up and down, but it might have. So I'm just going to go and hold down V, or yeah, D and V, and it's snapped there. What if I go to the front view? If, and it looks slightly off here. D, V. Okay. Now it's aligned well. Okay, and if I rotate it around, it doesn't look weird. That's the important thing. And I'll do the same thing with this one here. Boop, boop. DV, grab it in this axis, grab it in this axis. And if I go to the right view, make sure that if I hold down D and V and I grab it in that axis, there. Okay, so those are lined up, those little groups that I have for the eyes. Now, what I want is some kind of control for the eyes to aim at here. And I usually make some kind of thing here. Let's go to the right view. And so we got rabbit ears on. And what if I go in here to, let's see, create curve tool, CV curve tool. And I can make some kind of funny shape here, whatever you want. Oh, lack of imagination strikes again. I'm making some kind of fish again. Doesn't really look like a fish, but sure, maybe it does. Some kind of weird shape. Enter. It looks like a fish. And I'm just going to center the pivot on this thing, and I'm going to call that interest. And interest. And actually, maybe I'll even put a big old shift underscore under here. There. Okay. And this little thing here, what we want to do is we want to make it so the eyes always aim at this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab I grab the control first, hold down shift, and then I grab this eye. I know that this eye is actually going to be aiming, let's see if it's all frozen out and everything like that, and I'm grabbing the group on it. The group is going to be aiming down the z-axis. So if I go in here to constrain, I do an aim constraint. The aim vector, these columns are set up x, y, z. For some reason it's defaulted to x, which doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to go and put it to z. Okay, and I'm going to hit apply. Boop. Now that eye looks at it. And I'll grab the fish, or the eye interest again, and I'll grab this other group that I have here for my eyes, or just your eyeball, whatever you want to do. I have an inner and outer eye. I was trying to make this better rig than what I wanted, but anyway, there you go. Now they're both aiming at this object, and so you can see them moving around. I don't have any textures on here that are any good. Okay, so this fish here, right, or this eye interest, and you can make any shape you want, it doesn't matter. This eye interest should probably be parented to the head control. Boop, there, so whenever I take the head control, rotate around, the eyes will look at it. Now we got one other issue here, is the eyes aren't following, actually. So, what I'm going to do is, let's hide my body for a second. I'm going to select my two eye groupings here, and I'm going to group the group. Okay, so I just went and held down, I selected them both, went Control G, and I grouped them. So now I got another group point here, and we'll call this like eye group. Eye group. Okay, great. And then I'm just going to move the pivot point, DV, middle click, boink, there. I'm going to select this head joint, select the eye group, and I'm going to go in and do a parent constraint. Okay, now let's bring everything back and take a look at what I just did. So now when I grab the head control, the eyes are constrained to it and follow, and I can use this, move it around, yeep, 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 and everything works. Wonderful. And what do we got? Everything's there. And then I've got to do blend shapes. One more, blend shapes, and then we're pretty much done. Oh, 10:15. One other thing I might want to do, maybe you might want to scale your character. Why do I have this funny little picture? Oh, I still haven't finished modeling all this. Okay, whatever. Maybe you want to scale your character for whatever reason. So you select your character, and if you select your skeleton group, I made a group for the character. If I go in constrain, I can scale constrain it. Okay, you might see now that if I do this, if I scale it, anything act weird? Can't. Oh, I can see the feeder acting weird. Okay, that's because this do not touch group also needs to be constrained. So select the God control, grab the do not touch group, and constrain, scale constraint. Okay, and then when I scale this, everything scales uniformly. Okay, there. And I'm going to stop here.